Life, in its intricate dance, often leaves us with echoes of what might have been. We carry these echoes, these quiet regrets, like shadows that lengthen with time. They whisper of missed opportunities, of words left unspoken, of bridges unbuilt. Yet, not all regrets are permanent fixtures in our lives. Some, with courage and a gentle heart, can be transformed, reshaped into pathways for healing. This is a story about such a transformation, about a man named Ethan and his journey towards a profound second chance. Ethan, at 42, had built a life that, from the outside, seemed comfortable and successful. He had a good career, a nice home, and all the material comforts one could wish for. But beneath this polished surface, a deep dissatisfaction simmered. He felt a persistent emptiness, a sense that somewhere along the way he had taken a wrong turn. His personal life often felt isolated, with old friends slowly drifting away, and dreams he once cherished now deferred indefinitely. This quiet ache was more than just general discontent. At its very core, Ethan's regret stemmed from a fractured relationship with his father. For years, a wall of silence had stood between them, built brick by brick from unspoken resentment and unresolved conflict. It was a barrier that seemed insurmountable. Their estrangement had begun with a heated argument, a clash over money, responsibilities, and, most powerfully, pride. Neither man had been willing to yield, and the chasm between them had only widened with each passing year. Then, a turning point arrived, not with a bang, but with a quiet message. It was from Ethan's sister, a brief text that spoke volumes. Their father's health was declining. The words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken implications. This news ignited a fierce internal conflict within Ethan. His long-held pride battled against a sudden, urgent possibility of reconciliation. Why should he be the one to reach out? Why should he be the one to mend what he hadn't solely broken? He initially resisted the urge to act, clinging to his resentment. But his sister's message, a simple plea for connection, continued to resonate within him. It stole his sleep, filling his nights with restless thoughts and a growing sense of unease. The silence between him and his father, once a shield, now felt like a suffocating weight. He knew, deep down, that something had to give. One afternoon, seeking solace from his turmoil, Ethan found himself in a quiet park. There, he noticed an old man, his face etched with the wisdom of years, gently feeding birds. Ethan sat on a nearby bench, observing the peaceful scene. The old man, sensing Ethan's quiet contemplation, began to speak. He shared his own story, a poignant tale of regret over a fractured relationship with his son. His voice was soft, filled with a profound sorrow that resonated deeply with Ethan. He spoke of the pain of not making peace, of waiting too long until the opportunity had slipped away forever. "I wish I had swallowed my pride," the old man murmured, his gaze distant. "I wish I had just reached out." Then he turned to Ethan, his eyes kind and knowing. "If there's someone you miss, don't wait," he advised gently. "Pride is heavy, but regret, my friend, is far heavier." These words struck Ethan with the force of a revelation. This chance encounter, this unexpected wisdom from a stranger, acted as a powerful catalyst. It compelled Ethan to confront the unresolved feelings that had haunted him for so long. The old man's words echoed in his mind, urging him towards action. Heeding the old man's profound advice, Ethan made a courageous decision. He picked up the phone, his hand trembling slightly, and called his father. A few days later, he found himself standing on his father's doorstep, his heart pounding. The reunion was initially awkward, thick with the weight of years of unspoken pain and silence. Both men stood on the precipice of a conversation they had avoided for too long. The air was heavy with what had been left unsaid. Then, slowly, tentatively, words began to flow. Ethan spoke of his regrets, his father of his own. They offered apologies, not just for specific actions, but for the silence, for the distance. In that moment, the barriers of pride began to crumble. They acknowledged a mutual desire for connection, a longing that had been buried deep beneath layers of hurt and silence. It was a fragile beginning, but it was a beginning nonetheless. Over the next few weeks, Ethan began visiting his father often. He made time not just for duty, but for genuine connection. They started rebuilding their relationship, brick by gentle brick. They engaged in shared activities, simple pleasures that had once been lost. They had deep conversations, filling in the gaps of years, understanding each other in ways they never had before. One afternoon, his father looked at him, his eyes shining, and simply said, "I'm proud of you, son." It was a sentiment Ethan had yearned to hear for decades. Months later, Ethan's father passed away peacefully, with Ethan by his side. There was sorrow, of course, a natural grief for a life ended. But there was no crushing regret, no agonizing "what if?" Ethan had seized his second chance. He found solace in the knowledge that he had done everything he could to mend their bond. He had chosen connection over pride, forgiveness over resentment. His father's last days were filled with warmth and reconciliation, not the cold sting of estrangement. This story reminds us that while the past cannot be altered, the future is always within our grasp. It can be shaped by the choices we make today, right now. It urges us to embrace forgiveness, to extend love, and to act before it's truly too late. Don't let the weight of what's unsaid become the heaviest burden you carry. Reach out, speak your truth, mend what can be mended. For in the end, the greatest treasures are the connections we forge and the love we share.